Okay, this is a short video to show how to install the MinGW compiler collection, which is the compilation of the GNU C compiler and C++ and whatever else you want onto Windows. So first you need to navigate to this site and download the latest edition of the installer for MinGW and use it safe. Basically, you can install it, prepackaged repositories, accept the agreement. It's the GNU General Public License. If you want to read it, you can. It's actually interesting. It basically says you don't have to, you don't have any worries about giving it to other people. Okay, and I use D drive, but you probably won't. You probably use C drive. I just have multiple hard drives in my computer, so I use that instead. Create a start menu folder. And here is the important part. Okay, it already installs the C compiler. You want the C++, and you want, so you only need those two. If you want, you can do some of the others. I'm going to say install Objective-C just for my purposes, but C and C++ compiler is all you're going to want. Really, is all you really need. So next, and then it will pop up this terminal and get the stuff that it needs to and just minimize that and wait for it to be done. And while that's finishing, we'll get the next thing that we need, which is Codeblocks.org. Okay, so Codeblocks is a cross-platform developing software for C++ and C. It's go to downloads and binaries, and then Windows, and just click on the download. Either of those two work. Just save that. And it might take a few minutes. Let's check out our installer here. So I'm going to pause this until it's done. Okay, so MinGW is finished installing. Okay, the next thing you need to do is edit some environment variables on the computer. So go to right-click on Computer, Properties. Basically, you can also click on System from the control panel. That's just a shortcut if you're on a Windows OS. And yes, you can see what I have in my computer. Oh well. So you go to Advanced System Settings, and this dialog hasn't changed in forever. It is the same on Windows 95 as well as Windows 7. So click on Environment Variables and go, if you don't have one, you should probably click New and then make it, you should click New, type Path, and then type what I'm about to tell you. However, considering I already have one, you want to add the MinGW path where you install the bin directory, which in my case, hold on, let me remove it from my list because I already have it in here, but I didn't show you. So if you were doing a new one, you'd type new and then type in path, but make sure you hit this new button. Otherwise, you'll be messing with other stuff you don't want to mess with. So then you would type in the drive where basically your install path. So for me, it was d/MinGW. Then type /bin after that, and then click OK. Click OK again. And that's done. Now you should be able to open up a command prompt, which is normally under accessories, and you should be able to type GCC, and it should say no input files, or you should be able to type MinGW 32-GCC, and it also worked. So that says that the C compiler is there and detected. Now, the next thing we need to do is install Codeblocks, which is the integrated development environment. So, next, I agree. Don't know what that does, so I'm not going to install it. And then put it in d/program files. For me, if you just don't want to worry about it, just do C. Doesn't really matter where you stick it. Just, again, I have 2 hard drives. So I'm putting it on the second drive. So then that installs. And I'm not going to bother pausing the video at all because it's about to. Okay, and then click yes, you want to run it because we're boss like that. Okay, now you will get this incredibly unfriendly screen as far as you're concerned. Now, the next thing we want to do is go to Settings, Environment, Settings, Compiler and Debugger. Go to Global Compiler Settings. Click on MinGW C compiler. Then go to okay, and go to here and type in where you installed MinGW. In my case, it was d/MinGW. So, if it shows where you put it, don't worry about changing it. If it doesn't show where you put it, type it in. It's as simple as that. Hit OK. Okay, now, next thing, just to make sure that this works, click on Create New Project, go to a console application, click Go, next, let's do C, just for simplicity's sake. I will create a project called Hello World, click Next, and OK, you don't have to change that. Just remember, debug and release. There's two big differences. Debug has what's called debugging symbols. If you run a debugger and the program crashes, it can tell you the exact line in the code that caused it to crash. If you have release, it can't tell you that. However, if you release, a program compiled on release runs a lot faster than a program compiled on debug. So that's why they're named that way. Debug is when you've got bugs in it and you're still trying to work them out. Release is when you're distributing it to people. So, click Finish. Let's go to Sources, main.c. However, it already has a very simple application written in it, which is the Hello World program, which only displays Hello World on the console when you run it. So, hit Build. Hit Build and then Build. Okay, now hit Run. And it should say Hello World. And it tells you how long it took it to load and execute, which it's going to say that for a lot of things. And then hit any key. Okay, so if all of that worked for you, this works for you now. Congratulations, you've just installed a C compiler on Windows. It's not Visual Studio. Go free stuff. Because we're boss like that.